Guys, this is Devlin Blake here. I am here to share with you turning 99 problems into cash. Again, to share with you turning 99 problems into cash. Okay, so the other day I had a problem like everybody else I know. Okay, so as I was thinking about this problem, you know, I I'm a researcher, so I found a solution, and I was like, man, this is a great idea. Okay, so it went from that to like, man, other people could use this. Okay, and I'm not going to share what my problem is because um, I am currently working on something. I'm working on an event actually out of this problem. Okay, so I just want you to just follow me for a bit. Envision whatever problem that you had recently that you found a solution for. Okay. Always keep in mind that you only need to know more than the other person you are giving your service or your product to. Okay. So with this particular problem that I had, okay, um, okay, let me just give you a little tidbit. So I had a Nikon camera, right? And I had just sold it. And so I saw something that sparked an idea, and I was like, man, I could do this, right? And I was like, man, I just sold my camera. So I was going to be in need of a photographer, a good photographer, one that was going to be reliable. So it occurred to me, I was like, man, well, I'm going to have to find someone that's local. And so I knew what I was looking for. I was looking for a particular look, you know, and it occurred to me, well, okay, well, let me just go ahead and call up. Okay, so it was just more like an unction. Maybe it was the Holy Spirit, maybe it was God. I don't know, but I had this unction to call. So I went through this list, and so I get on the phone and I'm talking to the photographer, and I'm on there for like at least an hour. We're vibing, okay, and she basically has contacts with the other people that I needed to make this event a success. And I'm laughing because it's like, what problem do you have that you think that it's so big, okay, that you can't do it yourself? However, one of the things that I remember, I think it was reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and it was talking about what was that guy? Henry Ford. And so, Henry Ford wasn't an educated man. However, he was a resourceful man. And so they were asking Henry Ford all these different questions about, math and all this other stuff, and he didn't know those answers. And he simply replied something like this. He was like, I don't need to know the answers. I only need to know where to go and get the answers. So if you have a huge, huge problem solution, and you find a solution to it, and you realize maybe it's like mine where it's in so many different parts. And I decided that I was going to do an interactive event. I hadn't seen anything like it on the scale that I was thinking. And I was like, okay, and first I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm going to go ahead and do all this big stuff. But as I looked into it more, because I was like, well, how am I going to get the place? And so I started doing some more research, okay? So I was like, man, where can I get this information? Because, like, I cannot find this information anywhere, okay? Because I was even looking at, like, well, maybe I'm going to go get some sponsors, blah, blah, blah. And I come across this podcast, Event Supremacy Podcast. So if you are thinking of doing an event, maybe you want to actually get into public speaking and you want to host your own event, maybe you want to go to some meetups and get some public speaking in there, like myself. So just putting that plug out there, okay? So I realized, I was like, man, so I'm listening to this podcast and I'm like, okay, so they talk about prototyping, okay? And I was like, man, prototyping your event. And this is really just basically test the waters. Okay, so I had already spoken with a friend of mine. He was already down, and he was like, yeah, I'll help you out in whichever way I can. But it was like we were trying to brainstorm, and what we came up with was like, well, how are you going to do this event? and get the amount of people desired. So originally I was looking for like about 50 people to be at my event. You know, I really wanted 100, but I was looking at 50. Okay. And I was like, well, I was like, that would be like really, really profitable. But of course, there were other factors that was involved that I was like, well, I would have to look at the cost of the place and how will I get all these people in the room. Well, with the prototyping idea, you can essentially just get 10 or 15 people at your event, okay? See if it is a success, okay? And another good thing about prototyping the event is that you get to sell out. There's nothing worse than getting events for a lot of people, and trust me, I know this by personal experience because years ago when I tried to do an event, I had an event when something else major was going on, and it it was dead. You know, I lost a lot. I lost some money, not a lot of money, but I lost enough. And and that's another thing for you to keep in mind. Like, are there any other events going on at the same time of your event or whatever you're doing? Now, another thing that you could take into consideration, you could actually make it virtual. That's right. You know, maybe you can just do it online, depending on what it is. Okay. Um, this has been Denlyn Blake from Newbie Goes Viral, and I was just wanting to share with you turning 99 problems into cash. Um, Now, if you guys like this content, please like, share, leave a comment. Let me know what is your ideas that you got going through that head. What problems have you had? Actually, you can contact me, and I'll be willing to run some ideas by you. Trust me, I have years and years of just content and information that I'll be willing to give to you for free. Okay, I'm willing to take some time out while that I still have a little bit of time. Just schedule with me. Um, and again, just let me know. Okay, this is turning 99 problems into cash by Denlyn Blake. I am glad that you spent this time with me, and peace. I'm out.